So what started as a one-week snap lockdown in Sydney has morphed into a very different beast altogether. And that means for many families, for business owners, casual employees and vast swathes of the workforce, life has suddenly become precarious. The federal government's introduced some support measures, but the question is whether they are finding the people that need them most. The Drum's Stephanie Boltje has more.
Grace's salon has been forced to close. She's worried what will happen if these lockdowns continue.
At the moment, we're dipping into our savings. Even if we're able to get the maximum grant that's allowable for us, it would still be a loss.
Grace says she doesn't feel she has certainty about how much she'll get and when she'll get it.
We're not making any money. We haven't been able to access any of the grants yet.
This week, the definition of essential worker has been tightened. Construction has been brought to a halt, sparking this noisy protest at the weekend. Northern Beaches builder Tom Anderson is downing the tools for the 2 weeks, but thinks stopping all construction is a tough sell.
Especially as a residential building company, we can kind of manage our staff and subbies and people coming and going to site a lot easier than what maybe some of the bigger commercial sites would be able to do.
He'll apply for a grant and keep paying his staff.
We've been pretty lucky to be able to work through and keep everything going. So if it's just the 2 weeks, I feel like we're in a good position and we'll just have to suck it up.
In southwestern Sydney, Debbie Brown's markets and events stopped weeks ago. She briefly tried to keep her retail stores open, but her staff copped abuse.
I didn't want anyone having to go to work and deal with that, and I just think there was a real lack of understanding that we hadn't been closed down. The forced lockdown for non-essential retail only came in yesterday.
Debbie still needs to process last year's return to get the government money.
People sort of think, looking at the grants, that it sounds like a lot of money, and I'm very grateful that there is anything, but I'm going into week 4 of not being open in a business that's turnover is, anything from $20,000 to $30,000 a week. So $15,000 is great, but it doesn't even touch the sides.
Ever the businesswoman, she's been delivering donuts daily. But some businesses aren't able to pivot as easily.
Grants are available from today. We've got so many businesses that have had no money coming in for 3 weeks. How are we actually expecting these people to be living?
And help for individuals is different from JobKeeper. Staff who've lost 20 hours or more each week are eligible for $600 in payments, but they need to claim it online. Those who work between 8 and 20 hours can get $375 per week, but not all are eligible.
People who are in low-paid casual work, topping that up with social security like youth allowance or job seeker, have been completely left out of the disaster payment system.
Yeah, so that's the challenge, Lydia. You can't get this COVID disaster payment if you're on income support, and that is the age pension, Oz Study, carer payment, disability support pension, job seeker payment, parenting payment, special benefit, farm, household allowance, youth allowance, partner allowance or the widow's allowance.
So effectively what's in place will disproportionately impact those who are already on a knife's edge and who are already struggling. To put it in perspective, a rental accommodation in Bankstown is around $600 odd a week. In relation to the charities in southwest Sydney, I've been told that Community Care Kitchen, for example, they put out the call to families who are already struggling with getting food on the table, that they were available to meet the needs. They've received a 50% increase in the last week for families who are desperate and who are trying to access their services. This is very dire for many families out there, and to disproportionately and effectively leave out whole groups of people who are already struggling is just, in my mind, unconscionable. We shouldn't be in a point in our country that we can allow that to happen.